Hi, my name's Danielle Hatherley. I'm an artist and I take New Yorkers and people from all around the world on outdoor painting adventures around New York City under the name of the Plein Air Painting School. Over my many years of teaching, I've found that there are certain elements of the landscape that people would really love help and tips with. So the first in the series of videos that I'm starting to create is how to paint a classic blue sky. It may sound simple, but there are some tips that can really make it easy for you. So let's get started. I've actually put my palette up here elevated so that you can see the colours that we're going to be using. And the two blues that I love to use for a classic blue sky are ultramarine blue and manganese blue. I prefer manganese over cerulean because it's got a little bit more shimmer to it. And I like to combine those two for shimmer on the canvas. As you see, I've used an orange burnt sienna based canvas, which I love to use, and that actually gives a little bit of resonance of contrast underneath and just some subtleties that can be really lovely. So let's get started. I'm going to take a little bit of medium and mix it into the ultramarine blue and white, and I want a thin coat of this. So I'm going to put a really thin coat of my ultramarine and white. Just a nice thin coat, mixing them together, bit of medium so that I have flow on the canvas. And I get that down about a third of the way down, maybe half of the way, but I'm thinning it out as I go. And I always say to my students, don't paint a sky like you're painting a wall in a house. Be free, be loose. We don't need it perfect like we do if we're painting a house. I'm going to put a little bit more white in here just to lighten it up a bit. Okay, a little bit, mix it through. Okay, a little bit down to halfway. Next I'm going to wash off my brush here with my odorless mineral spirits, and I'm going to now take a little bit of the manganese and white. Put those together. Now here's the trick. You're actually after a shade of manganese and white that is really, it's a jump lighter, but not a crazy jump, unbelievable jump lighter. So you can see here, this is a really nice bit of manganese and white, and you can see that it sort of connects in without looking like pale blue streaks that are out of line in the space. So I put down more of it down here, bit of medium for flow, more of it down on this lower level as we transition down, because the real trick is that skies get lighter as they transition down. That's the general rule. I mean, there are so many different types of skies, but for a classic blue sky, lighter as it transitions down, and that's where this transition into manganese from ultramarine is really lovely. So you can see here, I need to step back and take a look for a moment, that this is a really nice transition without being too perfect about it. Down we come. The next thing that is really important to do to actually get a believable sky happening there, and I like to sort of take a look back so that I can make sure I'm capturing this sky in the way I intended. The next thing that's really important is having some warmth on the horizon. So that's where our white and cad yellow that you see down here. Some artists actually just put in a bit of cad yellow. Some will actually put in a little bit of alizarin or cad red. I'm actually going to use a dot of alizarin today, and what you end up getting is kind of an orange situation there. And this brings a next step of warmth into this horizon. Okay, see how lovely that looks? On a summer's day you get this extra warmth on the lower horizon there. So that's really quite just working very nicely there, and it's mixed into the blue. You could take a bit of the blue and put it in here as well if you feel a bit more comfortable doing that. But for me, I'm happy to sort of merge it into my blue there. And you can see there that we have quite a nice sort of transitional sky happening. Right down from that, the richer blue down into the warmth. I might pop a little bit more of this blue back in for a little bit more believable transition, but as you can see, just pull a little bit of what's left on the brush up, and you can see now that we're finished with a nice believable transition of dark to light sky. And if you really do go outside and have a look at a sky on a summer's day, that perfect blue sky, it does go from darker blue down through to lighter blue and through to this warmth on the horizon. Okay, so there's our finished sky. Thanks for watching.